Hey, well, it's December 31st, 2019, so I figured I'd probably better make a last video of the year, last video of the decade. As always, it is in the morning. I'm just getting my motor going here. I only have a vague thoughts about what to say, so I'm going to kind of freestyle it today. We'll start by saying the usual festive greeting. Happy New Year and hopes for a Happy New Year. On the real side, we can expect more of the same next year. Probably maybe a little more chaotic, maybe more. Of course, politics having a lot to do with that and the election coming up. So we'll just try to make the best of it. For a minute, I went to my library and thought I'd try to pull some records to talk about best of the year. And then I just got overwhelmed because the one record I was looking for, where did I file it? I still can't find it. I just wanted to give a special mention to Carla Dereck and Pascal Vassell for Précis Amont. I haven't played that in a while, but I'm really happy with what they did this year. Really liked it. There's a lot of good records this year. I can't remember. I'm in the moment. When I was younger, that I could do it, and it was important. What's the best of the year? This and that, and it just becomes a jumble in my mind. So I'm just glad to be here, and glad to have shared another year with you. I've been doing this for, I guess, going on 10 years now. Is that right? Something like that? A long time. So long that people have come and gone. People have passed away. Long lost LP man who returned to making videos after a 5-year absence. I didn't even realize, wow, 5 years. Cool guy. So, what else? Well, the other thing is, as I was talking about in honoring Von Oliver, the next day we hear that Neil Innes of formerly of Monty Python and Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band. I don't have any Monty Python anymore. I did have a couple records, but I really never listened to them. They were funny. I get the British humor. But the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band made a big impression on me when I first heard them as a kid. I first heard them on FM Underground Radio. I'm the Urban Spaceman was one. Then there was another one where it's spoken. Here's another one of theirs. Let's Make Up and Be Friendly. It was just really weird, and just caught my attention. So, rest in peace, Neil Innes. My understanding is that Monty Python was influenced by the Firesign Theater. Now, I still have those records. I don't play them. They're topical and, they're ancient. So what they're talking about is ancient history and non-contextual anymore. But I still keep those records. I just keep them. Jaw's doing better. It's going down. I don't know what else to say except to just let things kind of rise to my consciousness to share. One thing I will say here, because I've been doing it on Facebook, is I'm just thankful to be alive. I'm 64 going on 65, and people my age are dying all the time and younger than me. Now, for a time there, we were being told that lifespan is increasing, but I just read a couple of studies where, particularly in America, lifespan is decreasing. And I didn't need a study to know that. The unreal stress of Western values and expectations is enough to kill us all. What I mean by that is this. Let me see if I can get this out before it goes away. Coffee's kicking in. Nature is the perfect example of how to manage ourselves, and because of greedy selfishness, the people who are mainly in charge are ignoring it. And this is what I mean. Regarding economics and materialism and riches, the focus and the trajectory of that, according to Western thinking, is linear, which is one way, which is profit, profit, more, more. Are there any examples of that in nature? Very few, if any. What I've noticed from my study and paying attention to nature is that nature is vast, always growing, moving, but spiraling, circling. Things orbit and affect one another, and things change, but the movement is spiral, not linear, as though you're headed towards a cliff and over the cliff, which is what we're doing with economics. The unsustainable rich man's goal to be, the fat cat with the most. We're living with the results of it now. To me, the epidemic of homelessness just continually breaks my heart. It's hard to not think about the homeless. I've been homeless. I know what it's like. I'm so thankful to have saved my home. Thank you all for helping me save it. I'm so thankful to not be homeless, to be able to go to bed at night and warmly, to not have to shiver to sleep, which I've done, homeless outside, in the bushes. Breaks my heart. So those are things that are on my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a shame, that, and I'll put it like this: the legacy of the great white colonialist white man who's claimed everything for himself in this planet and wants to keep it all, has us on a one-way trajectory towards doom. Now, I most likely will live my life out just like I'm living here, doing my little thing, no problem. But it's the long run, You think about your kids and your kids' kids and your friends' kids, and what are they going to be facing, and what are we leaving them? You know what I'm saying? That's the shit that I be thinking about, And mark my words, 2020 is going to be a ball buster when it comes to weird shit being done by angry, selfish, greedy, I'm going to say it, white people. There's other people too, but the dominant culture that I see that has us fucked is this colonial conquest of the planet by the white man. It's not a racist thing, understand. You see, I love this. I also tell you, I'm black and white. I'm Irish. I actually know who some of my white relatives are, so it's not stupidly racist like a lot of stupid racist people are. It's just identifying some things that look pretty obvious to me, looking at history. Seems like if we could get people to get past being offended and not wanting to admit to this shit, we could maybe get some forward movement. But that ain't happening, is it? Not happening. The thing I notice is this. One more thing, and I'll talk a little bit music, and I'm out of here. We're in a class war. This will devolve into war. The rich will kill the poor before they'll give an inch. That's really obvious to me. Those with the means will kill us, the commoners. They're saying, fuck all of you. Fuck you people. We'll kill you. Keep what we stole from you. Fuck all you. It's been the message through history. Look at history. One more thing. If I understand correctly, until the Spanish conquest down in South America, the Incas had it going on. Millions did not go hungry. Everyone got fed. Multiple religions got along. Thousands of miles this went on for hundreds of years. So we can do it. So I'm not hearing this bullshit about America is great and politics is the answer. Fuck all that. You know. I know. Maybe you don't. I know. That's fucking bullshit. That's the big message I have besides music. My eyes are open. Okay. So I just finished, I may not be finished, but I got my last set of instructions on the dance piece that I'm working on. I think I finished it yesterday and submitted it. They may want some changes, but I got it to the point where I fulfilled all their instructions to a point and pleased my ear. It feels like a piece of music, so I'm excited about that. So as a result, I've been working on it almost every day for, 2 weeks now? So I relaxed a bit yesterday and farted around the house, not doing a whole lot of much, and some music got played. Turkey's Erkin Electronic Terkuler. This is such a cool record, and what a strange blend of rock and roll and Turkish folk music. Do you know this man's music? This is really wonderful. Erkin Koray. Killer. Here's one that I pulled, a blind pull for me, because I haven't played it in a long time. It's one of those records I bought years ago because I used to see it when it was out, but I couldn't afford it and thought it was cool. Finally bought it, but when I bought it, didn't think much of it. Really enjoyed it yesterday and noticed where the band attempts to include aspects of Yes in their sound. I hadn't noticed it before. Spontaneous Combustion. The album is called Triad. This has a couple of inserts. One where it's a die cut, so that you pull this out, and then there's another one where you see the band members. It's a trio. Keyboard led. And it was, other than the trite lyrics, which again, oh God, the lyrics on it were terrible for me. You know, that young love bullshit. Music's good. Good album. Played this. I tried to do, using Discogs, I tried to, sometimes I'll do this for fun. I tried to just count up the number of Von Oliver albums or records that I have that he's done covers for, and I kept getting, it's probably about 100 or more. But I pulled this, David Sylvian and Robert Fripp, Darshana, a remix. The remix on this by Future Sound of London is glorious. It sounds like that image. It shimmers. It's fantastic. I've actually played this probably about 5 times over and over again because I like it so much. Then they do this extended groove jam on Darshan where it's an imitation of the Miles Davis thing. You know, it's not funky. They're trying to be funky. It's not quite funky. It's cool. The concept is working. But it could have been a lot better, just my opinion, if they had let somebody else do the drums. Make it funky. It's trying to be funky, it ain't funky. I have a ton of stuff all over the house. The house, you know, is just full of music. So one of the things that helped me to wrap up, it's funny, one of the things that helped me to wrap up my work on the TBD Dance Collective was to listen to this. Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. I've got the vinyl. Well, I've moved it. That's why I played the CD. For years, I love the Moody Blues, and for years they were out here, but then I wanted to make some room for some other stuff to put on display to me, so they're in the closet now. But this is one of the most important albums. This album literally helped me to pull back from a second suicide attempt. as a teenager. I was maybe 14, 15, seriously depressed. This is just one of the most wonderful records to me. Another highlight of this year. Like I said, I'm freestyling, so just bear with me. Another highlight of this year was meeting Nile Rodgers. I got to go see Cher and Chic in concert. And I have Chic and love his production work and his guitar work. I love Chic. Your Love. This is a maxi single that I still have. I've got all kinds of music. I really do. So I played several of the remixes off of this. Just love. This is funk. This is how you create rhythm. Now here's another one that I have left over from my DJ days when I used to get promos and stuff. And I used to do weddings and stuff, and so I would try to have the hits. I respect that this band was good, but I was never a fan. I have this still, 10 by INXS. Now, I just decided to pull it, and I had completely forgotten that this is one of those special packages with the pop-up. The INXS pop-up. Isn't that cool? Completely forgot that I had it. Suicide Blonde is one of the hits off of here. Michael Hutchence, his death, and that being related to the insanity of massive stardom and fame, makes sense to me. I never wanted that weird fake fame. I wanted acknowledgement for being great. That's the part that has always appealed to me, is that people see that you're good and acknowledge it. But all the other weirdness that goes with it, never been interested in that. And I think that's what killed Michael Hutchence, was all that weird shit. Okay, here's another easy, because, like I say, I don't have TV. The internet is my TV. Garrett mentioned a Japanese composer that I recently found out about, that I should have known about a long time ago, that he said he's been listening to. Been watching my feed, because I've been watching him too. I've been discovering him through the YouTube. But another thing in my on using YouTube was, I bought this years ago at used records and tapes, or whatever, used books. David Fanshaw's Africa Sanctus. It was really cheap. I thought the cover was interesting and also slightly, not offensive, but it just reminds me of the colonial way that the Western world has viewed my people. These are my people. And exploited us, okay? So I came across a documentary on the making of this. And bless David Fanshaw, he had good intentions, and this is pretty good. But watching it just again reminded me of what I hate about colonialism, where it presents the white race as being civilized, and they're among these savages, collecting this data and preserving this fascinating culture, but in a put it on a bookshelf sort of thing, the way that they would take antiquities from almost every place in the world they've gone to, from Egypt to you name it, and they just steal people's history and put it in their museums. Thankfully, that stuff is being returned now. Some museums are seeing the light and are returning these items, But that's what came to mind as I was trying to listen to this. It's not a bad piece of music. It's a little over the top. Definitely is dated. Thought I'd mention that. Okay, so to wrap this up, it's about the 20-minute thing here. If I keep going, I'll veer back into social commentary. Let me do a poll for you. I'm going to go back here to this section, because this is this is the C to down to P is this section here. Okay, so I've gone very little back here. Let's see what I get. Here's one. Oh. And here's, well, it's a blind pull. Do you remember the first time you heard Tubular Bells? I do. It was that noticeable. And it was before I saw The Exorcist. And The Exorcist almost ruined this album for me because that movie traumatized me so badly. This is fantastic, and you know it is. Tubular Bells. And I relate to Michael Oldfield as a person. I've watched quite a bit of, and read a lot of interviews with him. I relate to him as a person, kind of a hermit. The other one I pulled is Oregon. Moon and Mind. I'll tell you what. This is some of the most healthy, life-affirming music that I have ever heard. And it just, again, just figures with the sick nature of the world that where do you find Oregon records? In the dollar bins. Because they're not listened to or appreciated. And this is wonderful music that'll make you a better person. How's that? I'll say that. Music that'll make you a better person. So, if it's going to be a happy new year, it's up to us.